Hi there, it's Nicole here for Lawn Fawn, and today's baby cards feature the new Scripty Congrats die, as well as some dies from the +1 and Hello Baby stamp sets and die collections, and then some stitched ovals and puffy cloud borders to make those fun framed scenes. To start, I am going to die cut the elements that I need for my card. I'm going to die cut some frames first using these stitched oval dies. This is a new release to Lawn Fawn's Stitched Frames collection. They've got rectangles and squares and circles, and now they have some great ovals. I like to die cut a couple of them together and create frames. So I'm going to do this 3 times to create 3 of these cream colored frames that I can stack together to make a more sturdy and dimensional frame to frame up the scene on my card. This is some cream cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. This one kind of shifted a little bit, so it wasn't very even, and I ended up needing to do it about 4 times. I've also die cut a piece of pattern paper from the Mona Me collection from Lawn Fawn that has the great stars, and a piece of vellum using the smaller of the 2 stitched oval dies that I'm using. Then I'm taking the puffy cloud borders and die cutting those ivory pieces that I had left over from creating my frames. I'm making some clouds from 2 of those, and then I will do the same thing with another one of the puffy cloud borders. Die cutting this one from the vellum that I've die cut. I'm going to layer these 2 cloud pieces together to create some layered frames, or clouds rather, inside the frame. So I'll do this a couple of times as well. These are all elements to build the scene in the center of the card. Next, I'm going to die cut the new Scripty Congrats die. This is a great addition to Lawn Fawn's collection. They already have several other dies, word dies like this. These are really fun, nice, bold greetings to use on the cards. I am die cutting this from the last leftover oval that I had from die cutting those ivory frames. I try to get the most use out of all of the pieces that I have. It's not going to stay right where it needs to go. Even though I have the magnetic platform, one of my cutting pads is a little bowed out just from use. So I'm going to need to take a little piece of Post-it tape to hold it in place. I'll run that through, and I have the majority of the elements, or the die cut elements, that I need to create the baby cards. Next, I am going to die cut, or stamp rather, the +1 images on some smooth white cardstock and then color them in with Copic markers. I'm using the stork holding the little bundle there. This is the blue version. The bag is being colored with BG000 and BG01. The pink bag is being colored using R000, R11, and a little bit of RV10 to pull in just a little bit more pink color. It was really pretty light with those first 2 colors. The stork is going to be colored the same on each image with some warm gray markers. I'm using warm gray 00, 1, 2, and 3. Trying to keep the majority of the stork fairly light, but getting some nice depth and dimension with those little bit darker warm gray colors. I tend to use the warm grays when coloring in critters as opposed to cool grays. I like how they look for animals a little bit better. Still working on that pink bag, trying to get it to look exactly the way I want it to look. For the stork's beak, I'm using YR01 and 02. And then I'm going back to the stork and filling in some areas with little dots and coloring in a little pink for the cheeks. The cheeks are R20, and then the dots were created with warm gray 3 and 1. Once both of my images are colored in, I'm going to take the coordinating +1 die. This is also a fairly new release. It's was released a little bit back that coordinates with this older stamp set. And I will die cut my storks for the card. I figured while I was creating one, I might as well create two. It's one of my favorite things to do when creating cards like this, where you can create multiples very easily. That way now I have two baby cards ready to go. I needed a girl baby card, and so I went ahead and just made two. You could even make more than this, but I love to do this when I have the supplies out. I'm ready to start putting together the majority of the card, so I will add some adhesive to one of the frames first, and I have an cream colored card base created here. I'm going to glue that frame in place and then attach my pattern paper background next, right inside. I like the blue stars there. Then attach one of the cloud die cut ovals in the center and attach my vellum cloud on top of that. I'm just adding some little tiny drops of glue around the edge, very, very small, so that it doesn't kind of squish out. Using an acrylic block to hold that down just for a minute while the glue dries, I'm going to apply glue on the back of the next oval and stack that right on the first one, the oval frame. And I'll take the third frame and do the same thing. Apply adhesive on the back of it and place it right on top of the second frame, so I have some nice stacked frames to frame up my scene. I like to combine stamping elements with my die cut greetings. I'm going to stamp one of the banners from the Bannerific stamp set on some vellum using Versamark ink, and then emboss that with white embossing powder. The greetings are from the +1 stamp set. I'm just going to switch out that last word for each banner, so I have the greeting will read "Congrats on your baby girl" and "Congrats on your baby boy." For both of these, I am going to emboss the greetings with gold embossing powder. Again, I like doing this kind of assembly line style so that I can get multiple cards out of one card design. I'll sprinkle on that gold embossing powder, heat set that, and then die cut both of these banners with the coordinating Lawn Fawn Bannerific dies. The Bannerific die, or Stamps and Dies collection, is one of my most used. I love it. Now those little bags that look like the one the stork is holding, that have babies in them, is actually from the Hello Baby stamp set. I kind of was looking for something else to add to the card and realized those would be a cute addition, and that they coordinated so well and they could be tucked into the clouds. It looks like the stork is picking up one and dropping it. And so I grabbed those and colored those just like I colored the bags that the stork is holding, and die cut them with the coordinating Hello Baby dies. For the word "Congrats," I felt like it needed just a little bit of something, so I colored over it with the Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen to give it a tiny bit of glitter. And then I can add adhesive to the back of it and glue it in place. I really like the addition of those two little bags there to the right of the scene. I think it kind of evens out the whole design. I was looking for something to add to it, and I thought those were super fun. And I did the same thing for both the girl and the boy, so I colored them just like I colored the ones that the stork is holding. I've glued the word "Congrats" in place, and I'm using an acrylic block to hold that down. Then I'll add some little drops of glue to the banner and tuck that right there underneath the word "Congrats." I apologize, it's out of frame just a little bit. I'm gonna glue that down, hold it in place with my acrylic blocks, and then use some foam adhesive on the back of that stork. Because it's gonna be kind of straddling that frame that's not flush and flat with the card, I decided to attach him with foam adhesive that So just the tip of his wing has foam adhesive. There's none under the part that is over the frame, and then the rest of him has foam adhesive under it. I'm going to use the Wink of Stella clear glitter pen over all of the little bags with babies in them. And the last thing I'm going to do is take my corner rounder, the 1/2 inch, and round all 4 corners of the card. I think that gives it a nice soft look, and that will complete the design of the card, and a few pretty pink posh sequins adorned with little mini rhinestones. Add some glitz and glimmer and finish off the card really nicely. Thanks for watching this video showcasing the new Lawn Fawn Scripty Congrats die, part of the brand new release. The supplies I've used to create these baby cards are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Please subscribe for weekly card making and stamping videos. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you joining me here on my channel, and we'll catch you next time.